Hey Pansy, welcome back to my YouTube channel. If you're new here, my name is Esther. So guys, today I'm gonna be doing an interesting video, and I'm just gonna be telling you guys my opinion about Africans living abroad, like the truth about Africans living abroad. Yeah, and this is just my opinion, guys. This is things that I have observed or experienced or whatever. Yeah, so let's get into it. Okay, so the first thing, the first point, I have my notes here. The first point is expenses. Yeah, people think you're rich. Yeah, so let's say if you're living abroad, maybe most of the time people back home would expect you to send money or whatever. So people think that since you're living abroad, you're rich, which is not necessarily true. People are just living their life. It's not like people are really rich or whatever. Of course, maybe if you're working, the amount of money that you'll be getting abroad isn't the same as the amount of money you'll be getting back home, but it doesn't really mean that you're super rich. That's what people usually think. Yeah. Also, life abroad is very expensive. Let's say, for instance, somebody is earning 1,000 euros. Of course, in Kenya, 1,000 euros is a lot of money. But then now, if you look at 1,000 euros, for instance, in Cyprus, it's not that much, because maybe you'll be finding that you're probably paying 300 euros for your rent, and most of the time that is minus the bills and stuff like that. So, and you're only left with maybe 700 euros. So, and maybe you have also other expenses. So really 1,000 euros is not that much. Okay. Yeah, so another thing is this is for the ladies. Yeah, when you go abroad, maybe your family back home expects you, when you come back home, you need to come back home with a white man. I'm not saying this is my reality or whatever, but I'm just saying in general, people back home expect you to marry a white man or get married to a white woman or whatever. And back home in Africa, there's a misconception that white people are rich, or white people will give you a better life or whatever. You know what I mean? Like generally in Africa, they praise the white man, like the white man is like our savior or whatever, which is just a misconception. Yeah, like white people are just normal people like everybody else. There's nothing so special about them. No offense. Another thing is like these odd jobs, like being a house help, being a waiter, being a bartender. They're not really how can I say it? Okay, you see in Kenya, let's say if you're a waitress, if you're a bartender, these odd jobs, you don't necessarily get a lot of money. But here abroad, like they really pay well if you compare Cyprus and Kenya. Yeah, so such jobs, like people really go for such jobs. Being a waitress, bartender, being a house help, or helping the elderly, like these are common jobs here. Like people do these jobs without shying away, but you'll feel like, but if you look at Kenya or any other African country, like helping the elderly is not really a prestigious job. Yeah, so there's that difference. So I've heard of people who have built homes back home just being a bartender, or just being a waitress, or just helping the elderly, really. So when you come abroad, you gotta do what you gotta do. You can't be choosy and say, I'm only gonna work in the office and not do these odd jobs or whatever. Another thing is when most Africans leave Africa and come abroad, going back home is not really an option, because maybe back home your family is not financially stable, or the financial situation back home is not good. So when you come here, going back home is not really an option. You want to make money to help people back at home. So you'll find so many Africans maybe living abroad illegally, or coming here as migrants, you know, through the Mediterranean. You guys have heard all those stories. Or maybe if they come here as students, and then when they're done with school, you have no jobs or whatever, they go underground. Yeah. Yeah, so going back home is not usually an option, because you want to stay here, make money, and support the family back home. Yeah. Another thing is, when you're abroad, it can get really lonely, because let's say if maybe you came here all alone, you left your family back home, you left your family back home, it can get really lonely. You miss your family, and it's not like, you know, you can just wake up one morning and say, I'm going to Africa, I'm going to Kenya, because the ticket is not cheap. Yeah, so you really miss your family, and it can get lonely. So that's why it's advisable, like if you go abroad, try and find your own community, maybe a community of Black people, so that you guys can I don't know, give each other moral support or something. Yeah, because I remember when I was in Poland, I got really lonely, because in Krakow there are not so many Black people over there. So most of my friends were white. All my friends were white, so I really didn't have anybody to relate to. So it got really lonely, and then coronavirus came, and it was even worse. But thankfully I was repatriated back to Cyprus. I hanged out with my friends Ian, Debbie, Batsy, everyone else. So at least it was better for me, you know. But trust me, being or living abroad is not easy. It's not for the faint-hearted. In as much as, you know, you'll enjoy yourself or whatever, if you look what happens behind the scenes, it's quite a lot, and it can get crazy. Yeah, so that's it from me, guys. Those are some of the truths about Africans living abroad. I mean, if you guys have your own truths, comment down below, let me know what you think. Subscribe to my YouTube channel, like this video, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Bye.